One of the most common applications of quadratics is in the height equation. We can find the height of an object using the formula that the height is equal to negative 1/2 g t squared plus v naught t plus h naught. Each of those pieces has a special meaning. If you picture an object, perhaps I'm standing on a cliff and I throw an object, you can see that the object follows what we call a parabolic path. And you can imagine it would be symmetric if we were to trace it back had we not been standing at the top of the cliff. This right here is what we call h naught, or the original height. Up here will be the maximum height. And then our final height is where the object lands. The speed at which the object is thrown is v naught, or the initial velocity. The t is the time that it takes the object to complete this path. And g is the acceleration due to gravity. G can be written one of two ways. If we're measuring our distances in feet, it is 32 feet per second squared. If we are measuring it in meters, it is 9.8 meters per second squared. For example, if I am standing at the height at the top of a 49-meter cliff and I throw a ball at 16 meters per second squared, I want to know at what time will the ball reach a height of 6 meters. So you can picture what's happening here. If I take my equation, h equals negative 1/2 g t squared plus v naught t plus h naught, notice I want to know when this occurs. So I'm looking for t. My final height is where it lands. I want to know when it will be 6 meters. And in this case, I'm dealing with meters, so I'm going to use the 9.8 meters per second squared. I'm looking for t. V naught, they tell us, is the 16 meters per second. Again, t is what I'm trying to solve for. And I started at a height of 49 meters because that's how high the cliff was. Notice, because I'm dealing with decimals here, I'm not going to want to factor. So we're going to use one quadratic formula on these, which tells us we need to get it equal to 0. Simplifying, we get 0 equals negative 4.9 when I multiply these together, t squared plus 16t plus, when I subtract my 6 here, I get 43. T then is going to be the negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Plugging in my values, I get negative 16 plus or minus the square root of 16 squared is 256 minus 4 times negative 4.9 times 43 all over negative 9.8. And when I simplify that, what you'll find is I get negative 16 plus or minus, when I multiply all of those things together and then take the square root, I get 33.15 over negative 9.8. But when I calculate those, one answer comes out positive and one comes negative. The only answer that makes sense for time is the positive answer. And so I end up with it taking a time of 5.01 seconds for the object to reach a height of 6 meters when thrown off a 49-meter high cliff.